Hey everyone, this is Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Today I want to show you how to change out door speakers in a 2014 Nissan Rogue. Now I'm going to show you the passenger and then the rear passenger and the forward passenger, but it's the same for the driver's side. So what you're going to do first is go ahead and take out this rubber stopper. Just use a flathead screwdriver and pop it open, pop it out, and then you'll see a Torx head right there, and you're going to use a Torx 20 to pull that one out. So once you get that Torx screw out, you can just pry from the back side with a pry tool, and you're going to have an electrical connector under here. Okay, you're going to push in this indentation right here, and then the black and the white part will separate. And then you can see on these speakers, they have an adapter on the outside or the back side of the speaker, and then it actually plugs into here. So what I'm going to do, the kit that I bought, they come with the adapters for the speakers. And I guess what you could do when you use the wiring adapter too, you could drill a hole in the side of this. So that's one way to do it. And that way you can leave the wiring to the outside as it is here. Or they left a hole here for you. Nissan did. So if you route it through here, and then I have the window all the way rolled down. You see how it's wrapped too, or the wiring is wrapped. So it shouldn't fray on this edge here, but you could put some tape there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to tape the wiring against the back side of this too. So we'll put some tape to the inside of this and just push it down here. But that way that edge won't hit it. And you can put some tape over here too, I guess. Just make sure whatever you put in these areas aren't going to be hitting your window when it goes up and down. Okay, then we just put some tape on the back side of this to hold it in that position. But the better tape that you use, the longer it's going to stick. And then I'm using some 6.5-inch speakers. So a bigger size or smaller size might be a little different for you. But what I found out works well is to take these smaller tabs out. And that way the speaker can line up with these 4 holes to mount into. So here's the new speaker, and I'm going to show you 2 ways to install it. I'm going to show you one way on this back passenger side, and I'll show you another way on the passenger door. But the way I want to install this one, they came with mounting screws in the kit, and they're a little bit long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some washers in between here and here, a couple washers, and then a washer up top or on the outside of the of this, and then I'm also going to put the faceplate on. So I'm going to have all these washers just to take up the space of the these long screws. But if you try to mount it like this, what you can also do, if you don't want to put all those washers on, you can drill through this section and just drill through there, and that way it'll make room for those screws. And just make sure that there's no wiring behind any of those sections before you drill into it. So that is an option too. But what I'm going to choose to do, so I don't want to drill into anything. I'm just going to use some washers to take up the space. And once you get all the extra washers you need, you can go ahead and just start putting this together. And then I got bigger washers for these bolts. And what I'm doing, I'm putting on the adapter first. You want to tighten these down really well so you don't get any chatter or rattle. And once you get your faceplate on, you want to go ahead and get your wiring adapter. And then this is a wiring adapter that you can get for this model. And so if you don't have that, what you can do is look at what side is positive and which side's negative on here. If you're able to figure out which side is positive, which side is negative on this, you can easily cut this off and then use some more cable or some more wiring, and then just put these ends on it. That is if you don't have a wiring adapter. But these are really nice because all they do is just plug right in. And you see how this has the hole on this side, so that would go where that tab is, and then it just plugs in. Just pull it and make sure it's tight, and then you can pretty much line this up however you want. I'm going to put this down in the corner, that way it'll stretch this cable out as much as possible. And just go back and forth on this. You'll hear the click. Okay. And then as you can see, there's nothing down in this corner, even with the window all the way down. So you're okay on the wiring. And just make sure these holes are lined up. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to put these through. Once you get it all lined up, you can go ahead and start screwing these in. Just make sure the washers don't fall off. And like I said, the reason I'm doing this with the washers is that way I don't have to change out the screws. Or if you want, you can just go buy shorter screws. Or what I'm going to do on the driver door is trim down each one of these. And then I'm not going to use the grill either. because you don't really see the grill, so it's not really a necessity to have it on. And you have a plastic grill that's on your door panel, so it's just overkill, really. So that's the way it looks before the door panel goes on. Just make sure each one of these are tight, but not too tight. Don't want to crack anything. Alright, once you got your speaker installed and you're sure it's not going to move around or go anywhere, put your panel back on. Make sure all your clips are lined up in the holes. You want to make sure your wiring is sticking out. Or you're able to reach it. You can just start from the top. Line up your window frame there. And then go around the edges. And then just push those white clips into the holes. Once your window is lined up, everything else will line up. Then you can put this screw back in. Make sure you can get to your wiring. And this gets plugged back in. And just make sure that forward clip goes in first. Goes underneath. Goes underneath like this. And then you can put that Torx screw back in. That T20. And then before you do any of this, putting everything back on, make sure your speaker works. You don't want to put it all back together and have to take it out because something is not connected or some other issue. So just make sure you check your speaker before you put anything back together. Or before you put your panel back on. And you just put that little button back in there. Did you get the ball? Now for the forward passenger door, you're going to need the same amount of tools. It's just a little more involved. So you want to start with the door release trim. So you start at the back here. Use your tool to pry that out. Just go all the way around with it. Pry that out. You can go as slow as you want. Don't feel rushed, because if you feel rushed and you go faster at it, it may break it. So you see how the clips are all in good standing right now, so none of them are broken. So this piece just pulls off and it just snaps. That's what this piece looks like. And you're going to have 3 bolts to take off. Here. This one's going to be the longest bolt. These 2 are smaller. And this piece will pull off. There's a snap in the center here. There's a snap on the side over here also. Okay. And then once that's exposed, or once that is off, you can pry this off. And then the same thing, push the connector in, and the black and the white will separate. And then once you get your power options panel off, there's one screw back here which will take off. And this one's going to be a long one also. So from there, you can do like we did before. Just gently pull all the way around. And if any clips fall out, make sure you grab those. And once you get them all off, you can lift up. And it should pull away from the window frame. And if any clips stayed in there, you can remove them. And if they broke like this one, you may have to replace them. Luckily, I have a bunch of those clips. And once you get your door panel off, you go ahead and take these 3 bolts out. And then to disconnect the wiring, just push on that tab right here, push in or towards the door, and then pull up. Now to do the wiring for this front speaker, what I did on the other side, and I'll show you on this side, is there's a hole right here that you can use to put the wiring into, or you could drill into the side of the adapter plate, but I like this better. I'll fit it into here. And this one, it's quite a tight fit, but you push back the surround, the wire surround here, and you're able to push it in. Just go up, push down on this side, pushes in like that. And then once you get it in there, there's a wire bundle that goes through your door here. And I'll push this behind it. I don't know if you can get a good picture of it the way it is right now. And then I'm going to push it behind it. That way it won't touch the window as it goes up and down. So now you can see it. That way it won't hit the window. And then you can put a little bit of tape right there, And if that tab sticks, it would just push back in there, but this side's not sticking. I'm just finishing breaking off the tabs off the mounting of the adapter for the speaker. On this speaker up front here, I used a grinder and I cut off about 3/8 of an inch off of each one of these screws. Now you can just buy different screws, or if you have extra screws laying around the house that are a little bit shorter. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the adapter plate on first, and then just screw the speaker right into these 4 holes. And I'm not going to put the cover plate on it because it's, like I said, it's going to be behind the door panel, so you're not going to be able to see it. So this is just another way to install the speaker. Okay, I went ahead and installed the 3 bolts going to the adapter plate. And just make sure those are tight. That way you won't have any rattling of the speakers. And then I went ahead and put the speaker adapter for the wiring adapter on for the speaker wire. And then I went ahead and taped it, that way it won't open up when it's back there, and that will keep it from hitting this glass going up and down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to direct it to the down part of the speaker here, and then I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Just pull on that, make sure it's tight. And really you can go any which way with it, but just make sure that wherever way you direct it or position it, that it's not going to hit this glass as it's going up and down. So that's why I like to go down with it, and that way it stretches it out as much as it can. You just want to line up the screws with the holes. Make sure all 4 of them line up. Okay. And like I said, I'm using the shorter screws, so they're not going to go in and hit this metal part of the door. And then when you're doing this, if you want to put the screen on, it's probably safer, that way you don't accidentally hit your screwdriver into your speaker. So when you're screwing these screws in, make sure you hold the screw away from the speaker. That way if your screwdriver accidentally slips, it won't go into the speaker. Now once all of these screws are tight, go ahead and turn your stereo on and make sure the speaker works before you put the door panel back on. And then just make sure all your clips have been pushed in. So just go along the whole length of the sides, and then one in the middle. After that middle screws in, you can put your power switch panel back in. Just make sure your connection is tight. And then put this front clip in first. And everything else should just push in. And then you can put the door pull handle in. Here. And then there's a snap in the middle. And then the long screw goes up top. The two short screws go down at the bottom. And then just push on the forward part. Make sure it's clipped in. Okay, once you get your door handle trim piece back on, and then your door lock panel piece here back on, you're good to go. Well, I hope this has been helpful. This has been Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Good luck on your next home or automotive project, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and comment.